You don't sound very convinced.
It'll pick up as I heave into
when you
this.
start yelling and getting really passionate about the movie.
You should have started recording me while we were watching Babygirl then.
Oh, some people were passionate in that theater.
Some people were hella heaving.
Yeah, we saw Babygirl. What did you think?
I fucking loved it.
I really liked it too.
Hell
actually.
yeah.
I thought, especially the first, like, the building of the tension about like what was going to happen between them in the first kind of 30 minutes. I was almost like, this is like one of the best movies of the year. Kind of tapered off a little, not a lot.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I really enjoyed it at the end. I thought Harris Dickinson was amazing. I think Nicole Kidman, an Academy Award.
I think she should get them.
I think she should.
I think now it's like, look, you did your best, and there's no going up from here. She gave Gen Z their eyes wide shut.
Oh,
she should get
a little. I really like Mikey Madison and Honora.
Yes.
And it's really hard for me to be like, that's like Nicole Kidman should win over this like incredible kind of huge big performance from a newcomer who's amazing. But Nicole Kidman's so fucking good.
It's unreal.
And it's like, it's one of those, I think it's an Oscar that, like, if she got it, even if she was nominated, but if she got it, and it was like, people would be like, it's kind of a legacy Oscar. Like, she's put in a lot of good performances. She's an older woman. I wouldn't be like appalled by it. I wouldn't be like, that's just ridiculous. No, I think she's so good.
Yeah, like a Hollywood, giveaway.
For once, I wish they had cast Tom Cruise instead of Antonio Banderas. Just so she could say, I've never had an orgasm with you.
Yeah, so that it's more believable.
And then Tom would leap out of the window of their high-rise apartment. Yeah.
Start jumping up. It's so unbelievable to me that she'd be like, Antonio Banderas, you're bad in bed. But I think that was not the point. It was that you're bad for me specifically.
I think Banderas, but I think Banderas kind of plays into that, right? Because Banderas is such a, like, what's so interesting about that movie, and also the reason why, if you're having bedroom troubles in your relationship, don't watch it together.
Yeah, no.
But like Banderas, he is such a sexy guy, and he's a sexy older guy, and he's successful in that too, even though she's like more financially successful than him. But yeah, the idea that it's like, you can be all of these things, but you're not right for this person if there's this like lack of communication or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you could get Harris Dickinson, who's dressed like a toddler, but he's 7 feet tall, and he can finger blast you on the floor, and you can come. I don't know. It's a movie it's very interesting with that kind of. Yeah.
And I love that it's refreshing that it addresses the kink at the point that it does.
Yeah.
Without just making it be like, oh no, everything was at a stake because of plot or because of, we had to make it compelling somehow. No, it's very believable.
Yeah.
People do these things because it's arousing to them to jeopardize their lives.
Yeah. And she's like, also the contrast with like this woman who has like achieved everything. Yeah. She has everything.
It's a classic CEO.
But this one thing, which is very important too. And it's like, I just found it really fascinating. And I thought like, I don't know, like I thought the way it wrapped up, I don't want to spoil it or anything. Not like what spoilers, but like, I thought the way that the place they reach in the end is like really fascinating and kind of like lighthearted and nice and like I really enjoyed that.
It's a happy ending.
But I was gonna say like the scene where Nicole Kidman is like asking him to put the pillow over her head and stuff. It's such an amazing scene,
good,
and like the uncomfortableness of him because like they're like in this routine and this rut in their relationship. It's so fascinating.
It's the nervous laughter.
Yeah,
that's some good ass acting.
She's so good, man.
God damn it, Nicole.
Yeah,
freaking did it again.
Turns out you can act. Turns out Australia can do something right. Okay.
Oh, more than
one
thing.
And I don't mean the film. I mean the nation. I just came back from a film.
Tell me about it.
But you didn't ask me about the woman I saw outside the liquor store.
Oh, I just saw your text.
Yeah.
Tell me about
I went to the liquor
woman.
store and there was a lady who just like, she walked out and like stopped literally 6 feet outside the liquor store and had like a little hotel-sized bottle of like whiskey or something.
Yeah.
Just drank the whole thing. She's totally a normal lady, but yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It was pretty dope. It was like, I'm heading to this weekend, right?
Look, it's Friday night, baby.
Yeah.
We're doing it correct.
But I was coming from a complete unknown, which you didn't want to see because you're into lady stuff, like Nicole Kidman getting finger blasted on the floor.
Unless Bob Dylan gets finger blasted, I'm not about to watch this.
Well, you would be surprised how much there's a lot of finger blasting in that film. No, I loved it.
Yeah?
I really loved it.
Hell yeah.
And now I will tell you this, by the time this comes out, it'll be too late for a lot of people. You have to see it in theaters. It's pointless to see it in any other way. It's about 50% of the film is song performances. Yeah. And I'm not a big Bob Dylan guy. I'm not a big like scholar of Bob Dylan, a Bobalina, as I think they call them. But I fucking absolutely loved it. I thought it was so fucking good. That James Mangold can really direct.
That fucking guy, dude. Okay.
And it was okay. What I really liked about it, I was just texting a friend about this. I was like, despite all of Timothée Chalamet's successes over the past few years, I think that movie felt to me, and people could disagree with this, but I was like, that is the movie that has turned him from wunderkind, debutante, young man into capital L, capital M, leading man.
Oh, shit.
He's truly amazing, and I think he will win Best Actor. I don't think there's a shadow of a doubt. Yeah. He's so good. But the other thing I really liked about it, which I thought of you because you weren't interested in seeing it, which is totally fair. But what I liked about it was that it didn't really act like a movie that was like, what if people see it and they don't know anything about Bob Dylan? We have to explain everything about this. It was really like happy to be like, it's okay, you can be entertained by this film without knowing anything about Bob Dylan. And like I said, I'm not a Bobalina, so I don't know a lot about him. You can be entertained and you can get enough to understand what's at stake here. But if you know more about what's happening at the time with music and things like that, you will also gain a lot of appreciation. So
you'll enjoy it more.
Yeah, like I think the more you like Bob Dylan, the more you'll enjoy the film, certainly. Yeah. But if you don't, they don't make a bunch of concessions for people who aren't familiar with his work and stuff. Good. Although at the end they do that thing where it's like, after this, Bob Dylan recorded 600 more records and won a Nobel Prize. It's like, yeah, we know. Like most people do know that. Sure.
Well, you don't know. In Gen Z, like newer people on Earth.
No one in Gen Z saw this film.
Yeah, I figure.
No one in Gen Z. I mean, there was 10 people at the theater. They were all 35 plus.
Right.
Except for me, because I'm 34.
So bitch. Brag.
Yeah.
How apropos then to call it a complete unknown, because then it's also for the audiences who just don't know this guy. That's my extent of Bob Dylanography. Cool.
Yeah. But also,
was it emotional?
At times, I think
Did it get you in any way?
Yeah, I think there's some parts of this is why it's good to see like the music and the performance and things like that is like pretty amazing. Like there's like scenes where he's like, there's this one scene, and Edward Norton is incredible in this film too. Like, there's this one scene where he's just like, and I don't like, to me, I found this emotional, but he's just playing in this living room. Yeah. And he's not really paying attention. And then all of the people in this family stop and are watching him play this song that eventually becomes a famous Bob Dylan song. And it's like kind of sweet the way you're like, wow, like they really capture what it was like to see something you'd never seen before. Because like everything was just like, you've seen Inside Llewyn Davis.
I was just thinking
everything is like a cycle in folk, and they just do covers of shit and blah blah. And it's a big theme of the film. When Pete Seeger, played by Ed Norton, it's like you get to see through his eyes what it's like to see someone come and change your world that you're such an established star in, and the pleasure in that. But also as he goes further, how frightening it is for him to revolutionize the music that you have like given your entire life to. And that stuff was really cool. And then there's like these performances with him and Joan Baez, played by Monica Barbaro, who's incredible in the film, that are just like, really, really great. And yeah, it's a fucking awesome movie. I really liked it.
Okay, well, fuck, you made a great case for it. Maybe I'll catch it by the time this pod comes out.
Maybe.
Damn.
This pod's coming out in 2027. So by that time, no one might be alive.
Our audience is time traveling. We know it.
By that time, we might have been destroyed by antimatter.
Jesus. What a segue, my friend.
To the film we're doing today.
My God.
The second in the Dan Brown, Robert Langdon symbols and shit trilogy.
Supremacy, baby.
We're doing Angels and Demons, another film directed by Ron Howard.
Yes.
A book that is a prequel to the Da Vinci Code. It came out actually before the Da Vinci Code.
Right.
In which they make it the sequel to the Da Vinci Code in this film, which I want to talk about a little bit because that's very strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, Angels and Demons, or as I like to call it, Conclave for alphas.
Conclave for people who take a chance, damn it.
That was my joke. I'm not speaking for the rest of the pod.
Well done. You drop your mic. You've left the room. John, come back.
I'm going to go watch more Angels and Demons while you record the pod. Please take over.
The similarities are shocking.
Yeah.
Like even like scene for scene stuff. Not just costumes, but even
many popes,
even like verbiage. I guess that's part of it. Like you have to use the vernacular. In Vatican.
Yeah, and also like both of those films are heavily concerned. Part of the theme is like the heavy concern of the Catholic Church with tradition.
Yeah, and
would
modernity.
Stand to reason is in a pope choosing fucking film.
Yeah,
that those traditions would be depicted. I think they're better in Conclave, but Conclave is about that. If Conclave could be improved by having a bomb threat, even though they do, actually, to be fair, they have one. Yeah, but like, that's not really an antimatter bomb. We don't really know what it is.
That's a regular bitch bomb.
So yeah, Conclave is a piece of shit, and this movie is amazing.
Sorry, boomers.
Yeah, sorry, Ed Berger. Go back to Germany.
Yeah.
Go back to making the Terror 9 or whatever.
Go back to Germany where you got your name.
Yeah.
Ed
all
Berger.
Loud on the Western Front, you fucking piece of shit. So I want to start off by talking about Roger Ebert.
Yes.
The director of Nosferatu.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
Roger Ebert is dead. But when he was alive, he did see this movie and the Da Vinci Code. And he gave them both 3 stars out of 4, which I strongly respect because most people did not like either of these films.
Yeah, what is the deal?
And he said, go find his review because he put it the best I can put it. And he basically summed it up by saying, nothing in this film makes any sense, but it doesn't matter because everything is moving at such a pace that you have no time to really think about it. And it's all filmed really well. And that's exactly how I feel about this movie.
But the fact that the pace is great is because it's derived through time clock ticking down.
Yeah, it's a movie that takes place over like 8 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that contributes to it.
Yep.
Compared to the first part, which got like shit ratings.
Yeah. But here's what he brought up, which I thought was interesting, which you never think about when you watch this movie. But why does the Illuminati create this like scavenger hunt specifically for Robert Langdon? If their goal is just to blow up the Vatican, why don't they just blow up the Vatican? Going through like the theft of antimatter and all that kind of stuff is very convoluted. But by the time you get into it, you're kind of like, wait, why are they? It doesn't matter. Like, I don't even remember what the Illuminati's like demands are. Like,
I think it's because you don't want to. The Illuminati doesn't want to be seen as terrorists. They want to be seen as opposing to theocracy. Like they want to see why science should shine in a way that religion really has suppressed them over the years, and they get the poster boy for science, Robert Langdon, Tom Hanks, to be like, science this, bitch, and then he fucking does.
Symbol this.
Mr. Symbologist.
But, like, it just seems so silly because, like, I don't even know why they're like the ancient enemies of the Catholic Church, but in modern times, I'm like, why? Like, are they just like, don't diddle kids? Like, what is it? They don't really like voice their concerns.
No.
At all. Or give any demands. They just assume
that we've all been to 4chan and that we've all kept up with Illuminati lore.
Yeah.
And then, every now and then Tom Hanks would be like, yeah, Galileo was from the Illuminati. It's like, my guy, stop name dropping.
He's like, everyone is from the Illuminati.
This fucking
basically.
guy.
Yeah.
He's like, who's next? Elon Musk? This feed is interrupted by...
No, Elon Musk has purchased a very prominent website in order to fight the deep state, which he's not part of because he's a hero for the people.
Of course.
I don't know if you've noticed that, but he's a hero for...
He deserves to go to space and stay there.
He's a hero for tons of white people out there. So, yeah. Maybe you should see yourself out.
I really should. Okay? Damn.
Yeah. Why don't you go over to Blue Sky or all the POC are? Yeah, like it's much like the Da Vinci Code, it's a dumb film, but it's great. Like it is truly,
yes.
And I said in the Da Vinci Code, I was like, maybe I like Da Vinci Code more. I'm like, no, I'm back on the Angels and Demons side.
Yeah, man.
It's firmly the best film of the trilogy.
Definitely.
Right? Yeah.
It's so... I regret to inform this, but Catholicism is sexy as fuck. It's so hot.
Even without Dr. Octopus, it's sexy. Yeah,
no need. They're all
There's not even anyone whipping themselves in this film. Like, what are you doing?
Shit, that is true, but there's branding, and that's the people's whipping.
Yeah. There's... Dan Brown has a thing for like...
He's got it, man. He's got the
BDSM.
That's the whole thing with crucifixion. So it's like pretty on brand for
Crucifixion?
people.
Crucifixion? Yeah.
Crucifixion. Yeah. Oh my God. Crucifixion, where it's pretty on brand for people to display their love.
Oh my God. Speaking of crucifixion.
Oh.
My Uncharted update. I have to give my Uncharted update.
Oh my God. What a fucking...
So I said, and I have to correct something from last episode. I said that I thought Uncharted 2 had finished filming. I was completely wrong. It's been announced, though.
Absolute shame on
against all odds, that film has been announced. Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg, they're going to come back. They're going to Unchart. It's going to be great. But more importantly, I finished Uncharted 4. Yeah. That is the complete unknown of games. It's so good. It was amazing. I fucking loved it. I thought it was so fucking great. I don't know why. I can't imagine how they fucked up a movie so badly when that game has such a good story and such good voice acting, and they're making a second one. Yeah. Now I started the DLC, The Lost Legacy, which is very good, but it's kind of like the ending of Uncharted 4 was so amazing. You're kind of like, why do they have this? But it's fun. It's another couple hours of gameplay. However, now that I'm almost done the games, and don't worry, I'll give you an update next episode too, because it's important and the people want it. But I think from now until Uncharted 2 comes out, I will give an Uncharted 2 update every episode.
Excellent.
Just news about the film.
This is just an Uncharted pod now.
Until the day that we record it, I will give an update on Uncharted 2.
2025, Uncharted territory.
Yeah, until it is mercifully canceled, or
because of you,
Tom Holland dies, or we record an episode on it. All of those things are equally likely.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my Uncharted update. Back to Angels and Demons.
Beautiful.
Movie rules.
This movie fucking rips.
It does rip.
I had such little memory of it, having seen it so recently. When we started rewatching it, I was like, I don't know what happens in this movie at all. And then there's 1 second glimpse of semi-hot priest.
Who?
Mr.
Andrew Scott?
Well, in Angels and Demons.
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
Thank
you. You're going to cut all this shit out. So I'm Scottish, say it again.
The Scottish hot priest.
Yeah. The other Scottish hot.
The hot Scot. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Ewan McGregor's face alone reminded me of this entire movie's plot.
Yeah. Because he's the bad guy.
Which is so clear from the first second, because he has the most evil face.
No, I don't. The main Pope guy who does the needling thing, who's like, no, we cannot break tradition. He's hella evil. And you're forgetting that Stellan Skarsgård, he's got the face of a demon.
He's such a dad. How could he ever be evil? He looks like he is an ambassador for potato farming.
But he is a dick in this, and he's meant to throw you off from the...
He's Mr. Bureaucrat.
Up until he gets shot, you're basically like, oh, he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Essentially. But then, and even I was like, no, he's in on it. He's the bad guy.
That's you.
And then you were totally correct that I'm like, no, right, he's made out to be the bad guy.
Correct.
Until they realized that Ewan McGregor, he found out who the bad guy was.
Yeah.
He's actually been good all along. Doesn't stop him from being a dick to our beloved Robert Langdon.
No.
Which is some unfortunate behavior from a Skarsgård, which I think is beneath them. Okay?
I'm just an excellent judge of character. So right away I was like, Ewan McGregor? Devil man. I knew it.
Ewan McGregor has like never played a villain except in like Fargo, right?
Which is such a shame because he has the perfect asshole face.
What are you talking about? He's so hot.
I know, but that's what makes it convincing. It's like if Jude Law played a bad guy, he'd be like, oh, danger,
Jude
man.
Law has played bad guys before. Yeah.
Exactly. Ewan McGregor should be
Mr.
able
Ripley.
to go down the same route.
Yeah.
I often confuse these two men.
Jude Law and McGregor?
Yeah, dude.
Have they ever been in a film together?
I hope not, because then I'd be like, twins?
You know what? Jude Law played Qui-Gon Jinn, actually. Yeah. No.
Get out of here.
Like, I disagree. I think McGregor is like such a sweetheart, you know, because he came into my life playing Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, okay.
So I just kind of see him as like a really good guy.
Got it. See, I don't have that association in my brain.
I kind of feel like Ewan McGregor is like one of those guys who I love as an actor, who's been in so many films, but since Star Wars, I haven't seen a single one except for Angels and Demons. Like, what has he been in? You know, like what has he been doing? Trainspotting 2?
Fuck,
like,
that's true. Because Ewan McGregor also reminds me of, and I often confuse with Kenneth Branagh.
Well, they look so similar.
Yeah.
Though. When I was in high school and we watched Kenneth Branagh's version of Othello, his like film Othello.
Oh.
I was like half the time because Kenneth Branagh's quite young in it. I was like, Ewan McGregor?
Oh,
but Ewan McGregor would have been like 20 at the whatever. Yeah, Kenneth Branagh's out there. He's I don't know who he finger blasted on that set, but it was not Helena Bonham Carter. Let me tell you that. And it wasn't Lawrence Fishburne. Okay. That's all. I don't mean any of that.
Amazing.
I don't believe Kenneth Branagh finger blasted anyone. I don't think Kenneth Branagh has...
Just my senses.
I don't think he has hands, actually. I think they're all digitally
Sorry,
enhanced.
It's Kenneth Branagh's monster.
Yeah.
Okay. We're often confusing this. He's so... Man, Ewan McGregor should be in all the things and just be like, oh, me, a man of science / popery. We never know. We never know. It's such a bait and switch. Every time with these goddamn films, you're like, oh, maybe now this movie will end. It never does.
No, there's like two major twists. 2 or 3 major twists in this film. Another big issue with this movie, despite the fact that none of it makes sense, is like you never really understand why Ewan McGregor was like so gung-ho to be Pope.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's half of what Conclave is about. I get that. But like... I just don't really, you never get a chance to be like, yeah, but why does he want to go through such lengths to become the Pope? Like, it just, who cares, right? Like, you don't get to fuck. Like, what is, you know, it's not like,
I know, but he's so young. And that's where that like sense of ego and ambition is like greater and more palpable than when you're, you know, your balls dip. You're like 80 years old.
Yeah.
Then you're like, all right, I'm ready to be Pope now because you have no sensation below your waist.
Because, well, yeah, also like when you're old, you can be like, oh yeah, I'm totally ready to be Pope. It's like, I'm going to live for like 7 months. So.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like I have to do this for a long time.
I love wearing a skirt for a job. Like, that's great. Like,
I love the names Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John. Benedict, whatever,
Easy.
You know. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just like...
It's the young man's ambition. And they've like clearly made it obvious that, oh, the Pope who died, you were always his favorite.
Yeah.
And I don't know
but he's also too young, right? They say that in the like it would be like fucking Timothée Chalamet playing the president in a film. Like he's too young. But like they're like, oh, but we can make an exception because like it's so funny the way they like at the end they just kind of are like, yeah, we can fudge the 400-year-old rules, right? And they're just like, yeah, of course we can. He's Ewan fucking McGregor. He played Obi-Wan Kenobi. Are you kidding me?
These fools.
Yeah, but like it's just such a fucking...
No.
At the same time, I love it, you know?
I want to find out what rating it got, because if it's like 25%, I'm going to be so mad.
It got 37 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Come on, man.
And I think, honestly, they got an extra 10 for... They got the memo about Tom Hanks should have normal hair. And then they got an extra 2% for the quality increase from Da Vinci Code.
He has more believable hair in this.
You know, Tom Hanks would be a lot more likable if he didn't have a mullet. Which, unlike today in 2025, they're not cool. They weren't cool in 2009. Now they're making a huge comeback. Lots of people have mullets, but...
You don't know. What if he has a secret mullet in Inferno? Really
I don't remember what... I think he's like short hair in Inferno.
Yeah,
right?
even shorter, because he's even older.
Man, that movie sucks.
Now that movie
compared
is a
to
piece
these
of
two,
shit.
that movie is just fucking brutal.
And I love it, and we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, well, we're definitely gonna cover it, but it's a rough one. The other thing too, this movie made a modest $485 million worldwide at the box office. That's only $300 million less than Da Vinci Code, so it was a massive success. It was banned in Samoa, which I'm sure really hurt Ron Howard's feelings. unlike the Da Vinci Code, which was banned in like 17 countries.
Yeah, wasn't he mad?
Samoa went like hardcore.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Brian Grazer, the producer, Ron Howard's producing partner, said that like they were too reverential to the source material of the Da Vinci Code, which made the Da Vinci Code kind of feel it was too choppy.
Okay.
When, they stop and they start and they stop and they start. Yeah. And everything, like I said, everything when they're not in a room talking about conspiracy is really boring. Yeah. Whereas in this movie, like Ron Howard was like, I want them to always just be moving and talking. Just walk and talks for everything. And he really does accomplish that. Like it's what makes this movie, what sets this movie apart as a much better film.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it's such good credit to the source material, even though they changed the ending, I think, from the book.
They changed a lot.
Okay.
They changed a lot. Yeah. I don't remember if I finished this. I said in the last episode that I never finished this book, but I did. I recall reading it because at the beginning, Robert Langdon is at CERN when they're making antimatter.
Right.
And in this movie, they excise that completely, which it kind of makes sense because, like, I don't remember when the theft happens, but if it's like, it would be crazy coincidence if it happened when Robert Langdon was there, and then the Catholic Church was also like, hey, this is the guy we actually need.
Because remember, he's like in a pool and he's swimming, and then Italian police is like, hey man, put your pants on.
One of the Swiss Guard guys.
Yeah, we lost our particle.
Okay, I was thinking about this. You know, the Swiss Guard, they like wear that stupid uniform. It's like orange and blue. Mm-hmm. They're like one of the most elite, like private police forces in the world.
Yeah.
And they wear this like dumbass uniform.
Oh my, it's like clown outfit.
They have to like put the get up on every day. And then fucking like Italian with a mullet is like, a cab. Like, it's just a cab. A cab. And they're like, oh, I look like a fool already. But I think, and maybe Italy can get on this because this is a great idea. Okay. This is a great idea. And this is why I should be writing Uncharted 2.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to get a pen.
They need a TV show, a cop show about the Swiss Guard, but they all have to wear that uniform.
Yeah.
Even when they're solving murders.
Hell yeah.
Only in the Vatican.
So basically, like a Simon Pegg joint with, what's his face? Edgar,
no
right?
humor.
Oh, you mean...
Completely straight down the line. They're wearing the orange and blue puffy shirt thing.
Hell
and
yeah.
the stupid cap and the little cravat.
Oh.
And then their service weapon is a halberd.
No. No.
Come on.
The unironic funny.
Come on, let's pitch it. Let's go pitch it to Rai or whatever that channel is in Italy.
You're thinking like Mindhunter colors, like blue and green.
Well,
and
but
dark.
that's what they wear, is like they wear like an orange and blue stripy thing, right?
Oh, I know. I just mean like the TV show itself would be like Chernobyl. Like it would be like dark and like a green filter.
I'm picturing the tone of Mindhunter.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Swiss Guard mysteries. Yeah. And they can only operate within the Vatican.
Maybe that is the first crime.
And like David Simon level of like detailed kind of dialogue and stuff. Oh my God. And like they're constantly like asking, they're like in The Wire, they're like interrupting all the popes who are smoking, and they're like, who did this? Who fucking get up against the wall? I gotta pat you down and all this kind of stuff. Every case has to do with pedophilia. No, I'm just kidding.
Love it. L Wire. I'm here for
El Swiss.
El Swiss.
Yeah, so that's my pitch. Anyone in Italy who's listening, you guys can definitely take it. I guess I don't know if the Vatican City has citizens, but if you guys wanted to adapt it to your television station, whatever that is, go for it.
You should trademark this shit because it's
a great idea.
It's free for all now.
And then one day they have like a crossover with those dudes in the poofy hats in the UK who can't move. Those ones. It's just all the silly
Palace?
Like it's all of the like silly uniformed guards from around Europe.
Yeah.
But they could also, like, if you fuck with them, they could kill you with like a hand.
Hell yeah. We've come back to a Monty Python Ministry of Silly Walks skit.
Yeah.
But it's silly uniforms.
Yeah. I think it would be great.
Gorgeous.
I think it's a great idea.
Movie over. That was the plot.
Yeah. Anyway, my big disappointment in the film is that Stellan Skarsgård doesn't have to wear the silly uniform while he does all of the stuff that he does, because he's like the head of the Swiss Guard.
He's like, this is above my pay grade.
Like, I'm not wearing that.
I simply cannot.
I have 2 sons. They'll kick your ass. My 3rd is too old. Yeah.
I'm so disappointed that movies of this caliber of pace and joy are not around anymore, like a treasure hunt type film.
I know.
And we keep going back to older properties. We keep going back to Indiana Jones and shit. And
I know they've all been replaced with like I saw the TV glow.
Fucking shitting the bed. Oh no! Oh god damn it! That's different.
It's the closest equivalent to the Da Vinci Code.
That's true. That is a treasure hunt of its own. My God.
It is like it's funny because Inferno comes out in 2016, and we're deep into adaptation world, right?
Yeah.
And there's a book in between Inferno and Da Vinci Code called The Lost Symbol. That was adapted into a 1-season TV show.
Oh, fuck.
Not super successful, but yeah, it was. I was like, and they had talked about, I read, they were like, I was like, yeah, there's another book. And they had talked about adapting it into a film, and then they just didn't. Like, actually, weirdly, what I read, and I didn't look deeper into this because I'm a true journalist, but like weirdly, like Sony or whoever produces these films, they wanted to adapt The Lost Symbol. And then Ron Howard was like, no. And he just dropped out. What? And he was like, I don't want to adapt it. And then they were like, we'll adapt Inferno. And Ron Howard was like, I'm back. I'm done with the rest of development.
God
I'm back.
Damn.
Like, it's so weird. Like, yeah, like they had who was going to direct it? There's someone not huge, not like Ron Howard huge, but someone notable was going to direct The Lost Symbol. And then they made a TV show out of it instead. And then after Inferno, there is another book called something else, and I don't remember what it is. But there was a book Dan Brown wrote in 2017 from the Robert Langdon series that has not yet been adapted, possibly because Inferno is a huge piece of shit. But don't quote me on that. But again, I gotta say, I know I'm really hard on Akiva Goldsman because of the way he writes in his films, but he collaborates with Ron Howard and Brian Grazer all the time. He wrote this movie, however. David Koepp, the writer of Death Becomes Her, and the writer of the 2 upcoming Steven Soderbergh films, writer of Jurassic Park, legendary writer. He rewrote the script before they shot this.
For Angels and Demons?
Yes, for Angels and Demons.
Excellent.
So that might speak to some of the quality increase of the movie, but...
Get that credit, David.
I think this movie is better than the 37% it got.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I can't believe... how high a rating, and I know this is, again, goes to nostalgia and like all the fucking rah-rah that Indy Jones, the latest one, got. Destiny. Dial of Destiny.
Dial of Dopeness, I think you're talking. James Mangold's masterpiece.
My God.
Right? Is that the one you're talking about, right?
In every scene.
You can say it.
This movie was better than Dial of Destiny, dude.
Yes. Yes. I agree.
Which is like shocking to me that back in 2009, people already had such a high... like level of expectation of film, that now we've just gotten used to so much piece of shit same property coming out and just shit in the bed all the time that we're like, oh, this was at least a 50%. Like it's like pity rating that we give to nostalgia now. I
think because of the how if you're a fan of films, like you can be so plugged into the world of cinema, but also like the world of cinema has adapted in a way where it's like with big movies, they're like, please come and see our film. We're going to show you the trailer from July to next September. Please come and see Thunderbolts.
Right.
Because frankly, it sucks.
No one's
you can kind of, and we see a lot more movies in theaters than maybe the average person, but you can see these trailers and you can kind of tell. But I think in 2009, it was a little harder to be that plugged in, right?
Yeah.
And it was just like a different time for like advertising and pre-movie buzz and things like that, because a huge blockbuster like this movie at that time, like there was like such thing as word of mouth, whereas today it's like there's no such thing as word of mouth for big movies because you're just constantly barraged with their advertising.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, like I could see how this movie makes nearly $500 million worldwide with people just being like, I don't know fucking anything about it. And I kind of like Da Vinci Code because it made almost $1 billion.
Yeah,
and like, I don't know. But like now, I think people who are just more plugged in, I guess. Like that's kind of my argument for.
There's also like, the attention economy and all that stuff. And if you're going to have your audience sit through for 2.5 hours of pay attention to every single clue that you're going to get, you're going to lose them.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because it's worth sitting through so much of it. And it's...
Well, also, like, a lot of people, they just see like 3 to 5 movies a year. And that's on the higher end, you know, like lots of people see like 1 or 2. And most, if you're going to see that many, most are going to be those big blockbusters. Mm-hmm. Other people are more discerning. I understand that. But like, it's funny because in the theater today, like they showed a trailer for the Captain America World Police and then Thunderbolts and something else. That new Rami Malek movie, The Amateur, things like that. Ooh. They're all kind of like perfectly spread out, but in a way that it's like lots of people will just see those 4 types of movies a year, you know?
Yeah. And
that's it. And Angels and Demons is firmly in that kind of spot, you know? Yeah. Just like The Da Vinci Code was the 3rd highest grossing film worldwide the year it came out.
Damn.
But because it was based on a phenomenon. And the 2 films ahead of it were sequels to phenomenons, basically. Yeah.
And then Samoa just lets us down.
And then Samoa could have added another 100 mil to this box office because all 90 people in that country, that country and or overseas territory of something.
Republic of Samoa.
Which is totally in the Pacific Ocean.
Yes. They got cable, all right.
I'm going to just... I pride myself on knowing geography.
Yeah.
Samoa is south of Alaska.
Close to Hawaii?
South of Alaska, but north of Australia. Easily, right?
All right. And that's a good ballpark.
If you've hit Japan, you've gone way too far. So that's my guess.
Don't hit Japan anymore.
Don't hit Japan if you're going to Samoa.
They've had enough.
But then again, if you want to watch one of the Robert Langdon series, go to Japan. They will have it.
Don't go to Samoa. They're not going to have it.
Don't go to Samoa. They won't have it.
They get mad at you.
They still have a movie. Samoa's one movie theater still has the poster with an X through it of Angels and Demons.
Same for Da Vinci Code. You go to India, they kick you out of the country. Da Vinci what? Get out of here, heathen.
Da Vinci what? His paintings?
Yeah.
Oh, because I thought you were going to say Da Vinci could
not.
Would never say
would
that.
Not.
No.
Welcome to India. Love it.
Yeah, and then by the time Inferno comes out, which I haven't looked, well, I'll update everyone on the scintillating box office numbers next and whether it was banned in Samoa or not. Wouldn't it be a bitch if you're Samoan? And I have to assume that Da Vinci Code was also banned in Samoa.
Yeah.
And these 2 came out and Inferno wasn't banned.
Wouldn't
that be
man.
such a pain in the ass?
Which would be like great, because then by that time the people have learned through the past 2 decades. Because when did Da Vinci Code come out?
06.
06. Yeah. And then this one, Angels and Demons, 09. And then 2016.
Yeah, it's like a huge gap. Yeah.
That's a lot of internet for Samoa to catch up on.
Yeah. But like, I mean, they wouldn't know what had happened to Robert Langdon.
Right.
And let's be honest, that's the greater tragedy. I know that 2024 has been a rough year, but just finding this out about Samoa, it really, I'm speechless. It's like people just finding out about Palestine.
Jeez, weird. Wait, what?
What's going on there?
What about it?
Yeah. So, anyway.
My Illuminati theory is that Inferno came out in 2016 and that has 4 numbers in it, 2016.
Oh my
and
God.
Then 4 years later, COVID. Illuminati confirmed.
I think what we've found out is that the Illuminati is and always has been headquartered in Samoa.
Maybe. Which is why they're drawing to. This is the Barbra Streisand effect.
Which is why it's so hard to find it on the map, and no one knows how to get there.
No one knows it.
That's why pilots, they actually fly to Japan, and they're like, okay, that's Japan. I have to turn around, and then they have to break a series of codes to find the longitude and latitude for Samoa.
Nice try, Bermuda Triangle. Not Samoan in this economy.
Triangle. Okay, that's enough about Samoa.
We're proud of you, this country.
Which one?
You did just ours. Canada.
Canada?
Yeah.
Why? What are you proud
for
of?
having garbage piece of shit films that you should shield
for
your
having
people
absolutely
from.
No moral compass.
Like for not shielding your people from trash.
God. Now we all have to hear about the Illuminati and fucking Justin Trudeau eating a baby because the Illuminati asked him to.
Well, that's what lizards do, babe. It's all part of the plan.
Yeah, he's hiding that tail.
We're about to find out.
Yeah, but that's also why he's so scaly and disgusting. He looks like that Game of Thrones disease.
I thought it was yoga.
No, it's living in Ottawa. It's really dry out there.
That's what
the cold and the dry. He needs lotion. He needs a facial lotion.
Game of Thrones disease.
Yeah. What is it? Gray
scale?
Some fucking cares. I'm only in season 2 in my rewatch of that film, that show.
The show.
Oh, so we ventured off course, but you want to talk about the plot?
Let's get into it.
Didn't write this down because it's really pretty. It's compared to Da Vinci Code. It's pretty easy to remember. But you correct me if I'm missing anything.
Okay, cool. I got
you.
So
Vittoria Vetra, you can remember her name because it's VV, and she's played by an Israeli actress who's was in Munich. She's great. She works at CERN. This book actually is how I learned about what the Large Hadron Collider was. So Dan Brown is doing some good in the world.
Really? Yeah. Nice.
And who the fuck knew what that was? And they were like, it's crazy to find out what it is, right? If you care about that kind of thing, you're like, it's amazing. But then I also have to imagine that the particle acceleration in the film is a lot more dramatic than it is in real life, in which they're probably like getting a DOS printout and being like, yeah, the particles hit really hard.
You want to touch it?
It really
it looks
hard.
like jelly. Yeah. Like, come on.
But like they do all sorts of experiments that probably to lay people like us. I mean, I'm a world-class physicist, but like lay people like us would probably find really boring, but they're very important to the world. Mm-hmm. But then again, if you're in one of those Illuminati folks, you know that it's going to create a black hole and destroy the world. And that's the whole plan of CERN. So just spread the word about that. But so Vittoria Vetra works at CERN with her father. They're creating antimatter in these chambers. They're trying to trap it. Mm-hmm. Now, much like Da Vinci Code, before the release of this film, a lot of people like mobilized to be like, hey, here's everything it gets wrong about science and shit. CERN, they actually, I don't know if you can still find it, but they had like a frequently asked question concerning specifically angels and demons on their website about antimatter. And one of the things was like, can you produce enough antimatter to like to have a huge explosion? And they're like, theoretically, yes. Can you use antimatter to be an energy source? And they're like, no, because it expends more energy to create, like most of those kind of pie in the sky huge energy sources like fusion. Yeah. They expend more energy to actually create, so it's not sustainable at this time. Probably never will be. Mm-hmm. And he's like, CERN has only ever produced, in total, 1/10 billionth of a gram of antimatter in its entire existence.
Pussy.
Yeah. Serious cock energy. But they said the explosion would be about the size of a firecracker.
Come on, man.
So there you go.
Come on. Even a child in India can produce a better bomb than CERN. Get it together.
I'm producing antimatter right now. in the bathtub.
Words. Yeah. Our verbiage alone.
Yeah. Certainly.
This podcast is.
It's certainly anti-something, yes. So they create these 3 things of antimatter which can, whatever. And then some guy comes in, kills Vittoria's father, steals the antimatter chamber, runs away with it. The Vatican police guy, he finds Robert Langdon at Harvard, and he's like, hey, we need your help because you're qualified for something. Don't know what, but you have qualifications. And he's like, great. All right, coming to Rome. They show up in Rome. It's during the Conclave. If you've seen the movie Conclave, you know what that is now, much like me.
But they call it the Conclave.
They call it it's actually called the Conclave.
Sick.
It should be called the Potpourri Pickaroo.
Potpourri Picker.
Popey Pick. The Pope Picker. So the Pope has died. They're trying to find a new Pope. Yeah, they're going to like lock down the popes in the room and to do the voting. And then there's a bunch of people in St. Peter's Square. Mm-hmm. I've never been to Vatican City, so I don't know anything about it. But I know it's big, beautiful, full of popes and cool police officers.
Twilight.
And they need Langdon because this guy has said like, I've captured the 4 preferiti who are like possibly the next popes, the 4 most preferred popes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to murder them at 8, 9, 10, or 9, 10, 11, 12. No, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to blow up the Vatican and a good part of Rome with my antimatter bomb when the battery runs out at midnight. This is so nonsensical to say, but like he leaves these clues that Robert Langdon starts to like figure out by like kind of his historical magic by being like, hey, Galileo and
that's
blah, blah, blah.
That's their whole thing though, right? It's like any like a villain who's like, my whole thing is that I am so good at crime that even if I gave you the answer, you wouldn't be able to find it.
It's the 90-minute equivalent of like in James Bond movies when the villain is like, I bet you're wondering how I got you. And then I should give a 3-minute speech instead of shooting you in the head.
Yeah, come on.
I don't know if this exists in a movie, but oftentimes when I see big blockbusters like this, where there's like a big bad and stuff, and maybe you can think of a film, but I've always maybe I'll write, maybe it'll be part of my Swiss Guard TV series, but I've always wanted there to be a moment where the bad guy is like, I'm going to give my big final speech. The reason I'm doing this, and then someone just shoots him in the head. Just we don't have to hear it.
Indiana Jones.
No.
Remember when they're like at a round table or whatever, and the guys get up and they're like, hey, da 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 da, and then he brings a knife and Indiana's like, I got a gun, and he shoots him. It's like fucking.
Oh, that's different though. Okay. I'm talking about like the big main villain who like he's like here's my entire motivation. When I was 3, and he's boom. I just wanted to shoot them. I just wanted to shoot him in the face, just because it would be so like. And I feel that kind of rings a bell in a film, but like I want it to happen in a major blockbuster because
I think it happens in that new Kristen Stewart movie where she's butch, like she's a body wrestler, but she's like
Kristen Stewart is always butch. In my mind.
like in this one, she's like
Love Lies Bleeding.
Love Lies Bleeding.
Not a major blockbuster.
Oh shit!
But a good movie. Very good movie.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
But I think I know what you're talking about. But yes, I want it to be like just
not memorable enough to like off the top of my head to be like, oh, fucking this huge movie.
I want at the end of the next 12 Marvel movies with like Doctor Doom, Robert Downey Jr. just like lying in rubble, being like, oh, the reason I'm so Doom-like and into Doom is because, and then I don't know, probably Timothée Chalamet at this point being Captain America just like throws his shield and like chops his head off or something.
You almost said Taskmaster, didn't you? Now that you're all queued up in the lore.
Just found out Taskmaster exists, and I don't know if it's a man or a woman or a non-binary.
I think now they're
they sound like my fucking jam.
It's a great character.
I am into tasks and mastering them.
There's a great arc with Deadpool, I tell you that, in the comics, but I don't know if they'll bring it out.
I'm not going to read that. So anyway, they're going to murder the popes. They have to find the path to the Church of Illumination. All of the murders have something to do with one of the prime elements of science, fire, water, earth, air, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And essentially they go on like a chase through Rome where all of these Preferiti are murdered one at a time. And they end up saving the last one in the fountain. Yeah. During all of this, Ewan McGregor finds out that the Pope had been murdered with an overdose of his medication. Mm-hmm. They save the final Preferiti, and they figure out where the guy is with the antimatter bomb. He heads to the Vatican, or he gets the bomb to the Vatican in some way. No, it's already hidden in St. Peter's tomb.
It's hidden like closer to,
Yeah, and then the terrorist ultimately gets blown up. Mm-hmm. Ewan McGregor shoots Stellan Skarsgård because Skarsgård is like, you're the bad guy. And then they figure out how to like disarm the bomb. McGregor takes it because he wants to be the hero, and he flies up into a helicopter. Yeah. Now, we've talked a lot about helicopter physics in our Uncharted episode and in Triple Frontier. I don't think whatever happened is possible in this film.
Amazing.
And also, that bomb would cause a lot more damage. Even that high up in the air. Yeah,
and I know it's all like movie physics or whatever, and that it didn't, I want that to be so real so badly, because it was the most spectacular bomb explosion I've ever seen.
It's cool. Ron Howard, I think this is a fantastically directed film. I think the effects are really good.
But just like the nature of that particular bomb, like not being explosive in a destructive way, but just it turns into this beautiful painting of a fucking galaxy that is like there for the naked eye to see. It's like,
I presume it would be like a antimatter explosion would involve a lot of like heat.
And colors and
but it's like
so
they
sick.
say like it would explode with like light, kind of.
Yeah.
The other thing too is like I think everyone in the square below would go blind.
I'm shook. However, like no matter what happens, shit falls from the sky, and everyone's like, "Oh, it tickled my arm a little bit, but I'm totally okay."
Yeah.
Like,
I also like I not to be all Neil deGrasse Tyson, but I was like I don't think you'd be able to see antimatter with the naked eye, like in the thing.
Because there's such little bitch about watching an eclipse. Yeah. With your naked eye.
All these fucking Americans are like, oh, don't go blind.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bitch, don't tell me what to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to hold me down? Go back to Samoa.
Don't worry about me. I walk into doors all the time.
Yeah. But yeah, blows up, and then we figure out Ewan McGregor he planned the whole thing to be the hero, even going as far as to branding his own chest, because he's into that sort of shit, because he's Scottish.
Yikes. So, did Ewan McGregor had a plan the whole time to take the bomb and go into the helicopter and fly up above and let it explode over the city?
Yes, I guess. But
because he had such confidence that Robert Langdon would solve this in the nick of time?
And I think... and it really doesn't matter, but I think that he thought the terrorist guy who he hired would kill Langdon and Vetra and then get blown up in the car, and then McGregor would be like, oh, nah, I know where the bomb is. And he'd run down to Peter's tomb and he'd be like, oh, that's the bomb right there. It's full of antimatter. And then he'd take the helicopter up. No. And
I'm going to blow you up.
And then he'd take the helicopter up and explode, I guess, because he seems like when Langdon is like, oh, we have to disarm it, he's like, no, and he grabs it and he runs away, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and there's like a little smile.
I think Langdon fucked up his shit by surviving, but he obviously his plan kind of goes off without a hitch until they're like, hey, what about video cameras? Do those exist? And they're like, yeah.
You know, you were saying earlier, like when the villain goes on a monologue, no one kills him or stops him, and there's like, fucking listen to the story. The villain in this one, the assassin, he does get to go on a monologue, but I thought they handled it well, where he says, neither of you have weapons. I could kill you.
It
seemed very reasonable. Yeah. He's like, I could kill you right now, but I haven't been given the orders to do that.
But also, he's like a hired gun. We find out in that speech. But also, he says, like, I do like what he says, where he's like, all these people that hire me, they say it's for a greater good. Yeah. But it's always just for some bullshit. It's always just for power or something. And I thought that was cool.
And so he says, like, be wary of those in power.
Yeah.
I'm not killing you because I haven't been paid to.
Yeah. But if you run after me, I will kill you. I thought it was cool. He's a good character, despite not knowing anything about him.
Right.
And then McGregor, they're like, oh, you're going to become the Pope, but then they find out about his betrayal. And then McGregor ends up killing himself through the most metal means.
So fucking cool.
We were saying when we watched this movie is like, okay, I like this movie. Ron Howard's a good director. This movie's meant to be a huge blockbuster hit. I get it. But if this movie was like a $50 million film made by like some other smaller director, it would be so dark. Yeah, like it's such like the murders are so intense, and like at the end he just lights himself on fire.
It'd be like Seven.
Yeah,
you're totally right. You know, if I had to rewrite this, Mr. Brown, if you just wait a minute, Mr. Dan Brown, just fucking chill out. If I had to rewrite the murders of all the popes,
but Stellan Skarsgård would wear the Swiss Guard uniform.
No, he would look dapper in all black.
Sorry to interrupt.
I would start by killing off whoever Earth is, however you kill the Earth Pope. Good night. Fine. Yeah. Kill the Air Pope. Good night. Kill the Water Pope. Because he survives in this movie.
He's and then
he's the last one he is.
The Fire Pope dies in the most horrific way. He's like burned to death.
But I think for like, as a symbologist myself, I would save the Fire Pope.
That's what you said, yeah.
And then in the end, you still get to have a Pope die by fire. Not a Pope, but like a preferred Pope die by fire.
But that would have to involve the villain being someone other than McGregor, right?
No, McGregor would be the fourth element.
Okay. Like Seven. Yeah. He embodies.
He would just take
like how Brad Pitt embodies Malice or Wrath or whatever.
Oh. Thanks, Ron Howard. Send me the
Seven
check.
is a really good movie.
I've heard.
Are you aware of that?
I've heard.
Yeah. I watch it when I need comfort.
I'm glad I watched it very young. It shaped a lot of who I am. Yeah. So
it's a good movie.
It's good. It stays with me far longer than I wanted to.
It's a little better than Angels and Demons, I would say, but not quite.
It's up there.
It's up there. Yeah.
It's up there with Angels and Demons.
Yeah. I mean, David Fincher's Angels and Demons would be something to behold. Yeah.
In this economy, Angels and Demons? Please.
Oh, yeah. And then so he lights himself on fire. And
yeah. Fucking sick. That is the biggest twist for me because I never thought he would do it.
Yeah.
Kill himself or turn himself in.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And then the as a gift to the Vatican is like, hey, here's the most valuable document in the world.
And then he's like, I don't want this shit. There's pages missing. This bitch ripped it out.
Yeah.
You should have handed it back.
Yeah. So my thing about this movie, being made into a sequel to Da Vinci Code.
Yes.
What is happening in the world of the church with the revelations in the Da Vinci Code, right? Because they're kind of a big deal.
Yeah, yeah.
And they kind of act like it's like, this is why it makes more sense to be a prequel.
But,
you know, because
it's hidden.
Right, but like Robert Langdon knows.
Sure,
right,
sure.
So.
But he has no incentive to come out.
It's not hidden because the guy who hires him is like, because you were involved with some recent kind of church things.
Yeah, it's dubious.
And he was like,
though.
you mean the fact that Jesus Christ's kid is alive or whatever? Yeah.
There's the last descendant of Jesus out in the world.
She's a chick. She's some broad.
We hate that for us. We hate that. Yeah, it's I don't think anyone knows the details of that. They just know that there's like the Priory of Sion and there's like murders related to it.
Honestly, in the world, like when you have like the Catholic Church, which is like this huge institution, and then the Priory Sion is like, yeah, but this woman is the descendant of Jesus Christ. They're probably like, no, they're crazy. It's like, all right,
yeah.
Who am I going to believe?
Because what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Not be on Twitter and TikTok? Like they're going to pay attention to events? Get out of here.
Excuse me, the Catholic Church is on X.
You're right.
They got back on
X. The church is on X, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Anyway.
And I mean ecstasy.
Hey. Yeah, this movie fucking rips.
Hell yeah.
We will not say the same thing about Inferno. That movie sucks.
Yeah. I'm so stoked.
This movie is the peak, is the high point of the trilogy.
Every time I think of this trilogy, I think of our trip to Spain because that's where we revisited this cinema
fucking awesome
in
there.
Spanish.
Yeah.
And what a great set of films. Progressively
listen,
disappointing.
No offense to Spain. It was the best part of our trip.
I agree.
The rest of that country might as well have been Samoa.
I agree. Every church I went into, I was like, maybe Langdon is here. Seems like you'd get a kick out of it.
Every church I went to in Spain, I was like, I've seen bigger than that.
Yeah, I've seen bigger.
Actually, except for the one in Zaragoza, that is the biggest church I've ever seen. Yeah. Quite literally the biggest church.
It was fucking massive.
It was huge. Took up that whole riverbank.
Jesus.
And then we went inside and there was people doing like a service and people were filming them. That was kind of depressing. I'm not even religious. And I was like, that's a little tacky.
Come on, man. Yeah. Get off X.
Yeah. Wait, you've never seen a Spaniard before? Fuck. All right.
Not in those costumes, baby.
Thank you for listening.
It's been the low ceiling.
It has been the low ceiling. I've been John. Go see A Complete Unknown.
Oh.
Uncharted 2 in the works. Not really, but it's been confirmed. Doesn't mean it's happening, but I'll keep you abreast of the situation.
No one is going to lose track of Uncharted information as long as
Thanks
John from Low Ceiling exists.
Thanks to me, the Nathan Drake of Uncharted news.
Jesus Christ. I'm canceling you.
Go back to Samoa.
Bye.
Bye.